Hello everyone. In this video we are going to continue from task 3 of this project 0x07, see even more pointers, arrays and strings. So this is we should write a function that gets the length of a prefix substring. So this is a prototype here. It takes in two parameters. We are going to explain that. It returns the number of bytes in the initial segment of S, which consists only of byte from accept. So what this is saying is that the characters that are in accept here, as you can see, all the parameters here are what are strings, right? As you can see, they are what strings, pointer to characters, so they are strings. So what this is saying is that it will look for this exact same string inside, that is accept, inside S here. Do you get it? So from the point that it finds a mismatch, it is going to return what? It's going to return the number of bytes that are exact from S with that of what? Accept here. So it says what? The standard library provides similar functions. So let's just test this and see. So let me create a test file as well for this so that you'll understand what I'm trying to say. So if I say hash include, I just want to explain the standard function strspn, not the one the question is asking us to do. Okay, I'm explaining the standard one. So hash include, so I need to include string.h first, right? Because the function is inside string.h. So I need to use hash include what again? Hash include stdio.h as well. Yeah, so here I'll open my main function. So this is void, and here, all right, so assuming I have let me declare a pointer to a character, a string, let me call it S, and let's say I have let me use hello world, just like the one in the example here. So let's say hello world here, world, right? So and what again, let me declare another pointer, let me call it F, and let me say it's equals to, I'm just trying to explain this here, this exact file function here. Okay, just like in this case I'm going to use the standard library, okay, strspn. So here I will pass in what? Ole, right? Something like this, isn't it? So here if I should say what shall I use? The function strspn is supposed to return an integer, right? So I will say unsigned n, let me call it n. So here I will just say n is equals to what I will call the function strspn. It means string span. Okay, so it takes in two parameters as well. The first parameter is what? The parameter to search from, and the second parameter is the what? The parameter to search for. So here I will pass in s first, comma, and then I will pass in f. So what this is going to do is this. It is going to check for what? It is going to loop over h, and it will check. H is the character here, so it will iterate over all the string in f looking for h. So it finds a match, h is available here. Okay, so it will move to the next iteration of I, which is e. So when it moves to e, it will check, is e available in this second parameter? Yeah, e is available here. So it will move to the next parameter here again, which is l. Right? So is L available here inside this second parameter? Yes, L is available. So it move to the second L in the first parameter. Is L available here? Yes, L is still available. Did you see it here? So it will move to the next iteration again to 0. So sorry, to O. Is O available here? Yes, O is available. So it will move to the next iteration again, which is what? Which is this comma here. Right? So it will check, is comma present here? No, comma is not present here. So since comma is not present here, it finds a what? It has found a what? A mismatch, right? So what it's going to do is it is going to return the number of characters that matched. Did you get it? Not the number of characters that mismatched. Okay, at this point when comma is encountered, it looks for it here, it is not found, so it will what? It will return the number of characters that it's checked, and also it finds out that they match with the characters in this case here. So how many characters do we have here? 1 2 3 4 5. So we have 5 characters that match here, right? So I'm expecting this function to return what? To return 5. So let's see now, let's use printf. So I'm printing what? A decimal, right? So I'll say an integer, percentage %d, so /n. So here I'll just pass n here, right? So no, this is supposed to be unsigned int, so it's going to be u. So here it's supposed to be unsigned int. Yeah, I think this is okay. So let's try compiling this. GCC test.c-ot. Yeah, so it has been compiled. So let's run it. So did you see that we got 5 here, right? We got 5. So because 5 is the number of characters that we find out the batch from what? From S and also accept. So let's try to change it a bit. What if I have, instead of saying Ole here, let's put something, let's say X here. If I have X here, what do you think will happen? It will check here, right? It will compare with this. Yes, it is available. This is still going to give us 5, right? H is available here, right? So it will move to next iteration. E is also available. It will move to next iteration. L, L, O, they are all available here. It is this comma that is not available. So this is still going to give us that exact same 5 here. So this, let's see. Did you see that? I got the exact same 5. What if I change this? Instead of changing this part here, let's say I have, let me remove this and put the X somewhere here. Did you see that? So I'm placing the X here. So what this is going to do is it will check for the first case, which is H. Is H available here? Yes. So we have 1, right? We've counted 1 character. So the next thing, it will move to E. Is E available here? Yes. So we found another character, which is 2. So the next case, it will move to X. Is X available anywhere here? No. So it has found a what? A mismatch. So it is going to return what? The number of characters that it's counted, which matches with what? The characters here. And in our own case, we have how many? We have 2. So I'm expecting this function now to return the value 2. So let's compile. Let's compile. So let's run it. Did you see that? I got the exact character 2. So I'm just trying to explain to you how the strspn function works. So this is the exact same function in which we are asked to write. Okay, so like I said, this function here, this file is not part of the code, so I'm going to delete it here. I just created it for demonstration sake, so I will delete it here. All right, so now let's begin writing the code here. So before we continue, let me quickly pass this information. For those interested in our C mentorship program, the course application for the 7th batch is currently open. So kindly go to b12learn.com.ng, which is our newly launched learning management system, and then go to courses. Under courses, you'll be able to see ALX Complete C programming course. So because I'm already logged in, that's why I'm saying continue learning here. In your own case, you will see start learning. Okay, so if I click on continue learning now, so as you can see, I have the project here. These are the first ones created: how to clear repositories, hello world, how to install Betty, all this. These are all the ALX project. As you can see here, we have them on this website. Okay, so for instance, if I want to access the small functions, small nested loops, I will just click on this, and as you can see, all the materials are here. Okay, so here as well, if I want to access functions and nested loops, all the course materials are here. So if you're really interested in taking part in this mentorship program, kindly message me using the WhatsApp link in the description of this video, and then I will share a coupon code which will give you a 30% discount on this course. Believe me, this course is very affordable. Okay, also, if you have a course that you want to sell on this website, you can register as an instructor. Simply come here and then you can click on instructor registration. You can register as an instructor because I've already registered. That's why you're seeing you are not registered as an instructor. In your own case, you'll see a registration form which you need to fill. Okay, so after filling the registration form and after uploading your course, the course will be reviewed, and once everything is fine, we are going to make it available for others to have access to. Okay, so if there is any inquiry you want about being an instructor or enrolling in the C programming course, kindly message me, like I said, using the WhatsApp link in the description of this video, and I will answer your question, and also I will share the coupon code that you need to get 30% discount on our mentorship program. So thank you very much, and let's continue. So let's open the file. I believe you understood what the strspn function. So we are just going to create a function that works exactly like it. Okay, so let's see. As you can see, I've documented my Betty already. All right, so one thing we need to do first is we know that we are going to loop over what? Over S, right? And for each case of S, for each iteration of S, we are going to compare it with accept. That way we are going to see if there is a match or not. So I'm going to declare two variables which I'm going to use to iterate over S and also over accept. Right? So as you can see here, the function is returning an unsigned int value. Right? It's returning an unsigned int value. Or before that, let's just continue. I'll explain that later on. So I have J here. Right? I'm going to use this for my looping. So I'm going to use the I to loop over S. So I will say for I equals to 0 because I'm beginning my iteration from the first character of S, right? So what should be the condition here? S index I not equals to the terminating number, right? So I'm looping from the beginning up to the end of what? Of S. So here I will say I plus plus. All right, so inside this for loop here, don't forget for each iteration of S, we need to compare it with accept, right? So I will say for G, also accept, we are starting the comparison from the first character of accept, right? So J equals to 0. So what should be the condition here? The condition is going to be as far as S index I, whatever is in index I of S is not equals to what? It's not equals to what is in accept of G. This is the condition that I want to keep this loop to be running. Do you get it? So this is just trying to compare whatever S index I is and also accept index J is. Do you get it? So here I will just say J plus plus here. So now I have this. So inside this for loop here, what do I need to do? I need to check, right? I need to check here if accept J is equal to terminating number, because when you look at this loop is going to iterate over up to the end of J, right? I want it to iterate over up to the end of J, because what I explained in the previous, in the example I just gave you is that when one iteration, or let me say when the first character in S is being checked with other characters in accept, it is going to loop over accept up to the end of the string, right? It is going to loop over it up to the end of the string. So here I need to set an if statement. I will just say if the value of accept, right, at G, right, is equals to the terminating number. That is, if the value of accept is equals to the terminating number, that is the end of accept, right? So I'm just going to return what? What am I going to return here? I'm going to return the index, because the index is what is going to give me the number of characters that has been counted, right? So here I'll just say return I. Why am I returning I? Because I is the character that is responsible for holding, or is responsible for iterating over S, right? And when you look at what I just explained, or if you can remember what I explained, even though I cleaned it, I wish I did not, we could have referred to it. So if you can remember what I just did in the example, I said for each iteration of S, it is going to compare that character of S with all the characters in accept, right? So it means I is going to hold the number of characters that has been counted, isn't it? I is going to hold the number of characters that has been counted. So I is going to be returned in this case. There are other ways you can solve this problem. Okay, there are other ways to solve this problem. So here, as you can see, this is supposed to return, I will just say return, it's supposed to return an unsigned int. So I'll just say return 0. It will still work. So I think that's all for this. So let's try to run Betty here. Betty. Okay, no, okay, member S. Let me open strspn. Is it the same function? Okay, exit function parameter S, description S, no description file for return value. Okay, so here I need to, this is not a capital S, actually it is a small case s, so I forgot to explain the return value. So here I'll just say return. What is the function returning? Function return is returning what? Number of characters. All right, let me just say characters matched, isn't it? I think that's what the function should return. So anything else? I think that's all. So let's run Betty again, right? So let's run Betty. Yeah, so Betty is fine now. So let's copy the test file here. Copy, this is vi3 main.c. So paste. All right, so here, sorry, here I will just say hash include. All right, so let's copy the compilation command as well, and let's paste here. All right, so it has been compiled. So let's run the compiled file. Yeah, so as you can see, we got 5. So it means that this function is working the way it's supposed to work, right? I've already explained the strspn function, that's that of the standard library, before we begin writing the code. So please, I'm expecting you to understand this as well. If you don't get it, please refer to the part where I explained the strspn function itself. Okay, if you understood how the strspn function works, you'll be able to get the second part as well. Okay, so we are going to stop here. Don't forget to add, commit, and push your GitHub. In the next video, we are going to continue from task 4 of this project. So thank you very much. Till we meet in our next session.